The Girl with the Golden Voice, a story shared by African Folktales King. Stay by and enjoy. The prophecy, in the heart of the kingdom of Zambora, where the rivers sang and the trees whispered secrets to the wind, a prophecy was told long ago. A girl with a voice like the gods will rise, and with her song, she will shake the throne. Many believed it was just an old tale, but one fateful night, as a storm raged across the land, a baby girl was born in a small village at the edge of the kingdom. Her mother named her Naya. The gift and the curse. From the moment Naya could speak, her voice was unlike any other. It was pure, enchanting, and powerful. Birds paused to listen, rivers seemed to hum along, and people who heard her sing felt emotions they couldn't explain. But her gift was also a curse. When she was 10 years old, Naya sang a lullaby to calm a crying child, and suddenly, the child, who had been sick for weeks, was healed. The news spread like wildfire. Some called her a blessing, others whispered that she was a witch. Then, the king himself heard the rumors. The king's fear. King Ofori, ruler of Zambora, was a man who feared anything he could not control. When the prophecy of the golden voice reached him, his heart filled with dread. A girl who can move hearts with her voice? What if she turns the people against me, he thought. That night, he summoned his most trusted warrior, General Omari. Find the girl. Bring her to me, dead or alive. The escape. Naya's mother, sensing danger, woke her in the middle of the night. You must leave, my child. The king will not let you live. Tears filled Naya's eyes, but she knew her mother was right. With only a small bag of food and her mother's blessing, she fled into the dark forest. But she was not alone. As she ran, shadows moved between the trees. A rustling sound came from behind. Someone, or something, was following her. Then, a voice echoed through the night. You cannot escape, girl. The king wants you. Naya froze. Her heart pounded. The night was silent, too silent. Then, from the darkness, a figure stepped forward. A stranger. Cloaked in black. Holding a dagger. The mysterious stranger, Naya's breath caught in her throat as the cloaked figure stepped closer, the blade in his hand gleaming under the moonlight. If you scream, I won't hesitate to use this, the man said, his voice deep and threatening. Fear gripped Naya, but she knew one thing, her voice was her only weapon. Slowly, she took a deep breath, ready to sing a melody that could weaken his resolve. But before she could part her lips, the stranger did something unexpected. He lowered his dagger. I'm not here to hurt you, Naya, he said. I came to save you. Naya hesitated. How does he know my name? A shocking revelation, the man pulled back his hood, revealing a sharp, battle-worn face. He had piercing eyes that held both sorrow and strength. My name is Kato, he said. I was once a warrior of the king. But now, I fight against him. Naya frowned. Why would a warrior turn against his own king? The king fears you, Naya. He believes your voice will take his throne. He sent his men to kill you. But I know the truth, your voice is a gift, not a curse. Naya's mind raced. Could she trust him? Or was this another trick? Before she could decide, the sound of hooves thundered in the distance. The king's soldiers were coming. The chase begins. We have to move. Kato grabbed her wrist, pulling her deeper into the forest. Branches snapped beneath their feet as they ran, the distant torches of the soldiers growing brighter. The king's men were fast, but Naya was faster. They reached the edge of the river, its waters rushing wildly. We can't cross this, Naya gasped. Kato turned to her, his face grim. Then we fight. The first soldier burst through the trees, sword raised. Kato met him head-on, steel clashing against steel. Another soldier lunged for Naya. She barely dodged, her heart pounding. And then, without thinking, she sang. A haunting, powerful melody filled the air. The soldiers froze, their eyes widening in shock. Their hands trembled. One by one, their weapons slipped from their fingers. But Naya's voice didn't just stop the soldiers. The river responded. The once wild waters grew calm, as if listening. And then, without warning, a path of stones rose from beneath the surface, leading across. Kato turned to Naya, his expression unreadable. "You are more powerful than you know," he whispered. But before they could cross, a voice rang out, a voice that made Naya's blood run cold. "You think you can escape me, little girl?" From the shadows, General Omari emerged. Unlike the other soldiers, he was unaffected by her song. He smirked, drawing his sword. "Your voice may stop them, but it won't stop me." The unstoppable general, Naya's heart pounded as General Omari stepped closer, his sword reflecting the moonlight. Unlike the other soldiers, he showed no fear, no hesitation. "Sing all you want, little girl," he sneered. "Your magic won't work on me." Naya's mind raced. How was he immune? No one had ever resisted her voice before. Kato gripped his sword tighter. "Naya, go. Cross the river." "Not without you," she cried. Omari smirked. "How touching. But neither of you will leave here alive." Then, he charged. A desperate fight, Kato met him with a powerful strike, their swords clashing in a shower of sparks. Omari was fast, too fast. With every blow, he pushed Kato back, his strength overwhelming. Naya clenched her fists. She couldn't just stand there. She had to do something. She closed her eyes and began to sing, not a song of peace, but a song of storm and fury. The wind howled. The river roared. The earth trembled beneath their feet. Omari faltered for just a second. And in that moment, Kato struck, his blade slicing across Omari's arm. The general stumbled back, growling in pain. "You'll pay for that," he snarled. Then, to Naya's horror, he reached into his cloak and pulled out a small, black stone. The moment he gripped it, a dark aura surrounded him. His wound vanished. His eyes glowed red. "Now," Omari said, his voice deeper, darker. "Let's see how powerful your little voice really is." The forbidden magic, Kato's face paled. "Naya, that's a bloodstone. It absorbs magic." Naya's breath caught in her throat. If that was true, then... "Your gift is useless against me now," Omari taunted. "And once I take you to the king, he will ensure you never sing again." Panic filled Naya's chest. Her voice had always been her weapon, her shield. If it didn't work, then how could she fight him? The river behind them raged, waiting. They had only one choice. "Kato," she whispered, "trust me." Without waiting for his response, she grabbed his hand and jumped into the river. Water engulfed them. The current pulled them under. And above, standing at the edge of the riverbank, General Omari watched them disappear beneath the waves. A slow, wicked smile spread across his face. "Run all you want, girl," he murmured. "I will find you." The river's secret, cold, dark, endless. The river swallowed Naya and Kato, its powerful current dragging them beneath the surface. Water filled Naya's lungs as she struggled to hold her breath. Kato's grip on her wrist tightened, but the river was too strong, it tore them apart. For a terrifying moment, everything faded into silence. Then, a light. Soft. Golden. Flickering beneath the water. Naya's eyes widened. It wasn't just any light, it was calling to her. With the last of her strength, she reached for it, and suddenly, the river shifted. The current stopped, the water held her in place, cradling her like a mother's embrace. And then, she breathed. She gasped, expecting water to choke her lungs, but instead, she inhaled air. She wasn't drowning. She was alive. The light pulsed, and a voice, ancient and wise, whispered in her mind. "You have awakened, child of the song. The forgotten legend." Slowly, the water around Naya began to glow, revealing shapes, figures, spirits of the river, watching her with knowing eyes. Long ago, the voice continued, our waters carried the first singer, your ancestor. She wielded a voice so powerful, even kings bowed before her. But fearing her strength, they cursed her bloodline, silencing her descendants, until you. Naya's heart pounded. My voice was cursed? Yes. That is why the Bloodstone weakens you. It was forged from the same dark magic that silenced your ancestors. But you, child, you are different. The river has chosen you. Naya looked at her hands. Her skin shimmered with a golden glow. A new warmth burned in her chest, stronger, deeper. What must I do? She asked. The spirits whispered together, their voices blending like an ancient melody. Find the song of the ancestors. Only then will your voice be truly free. Before Naya could ask more, the light flared, blinding and brilliant. And then she woke up. A dangerous path ahead. Naya coughed, gasping for air. She was lying on a riverbank, the early dawn light painting the sky. Beside her, Kato groaned, pushing himself up. You're alive, he muttered. I thought we were dead. Naya sat up, her heart racing. The vision, the spirits, it wasn't a dream. It was real. She turned to Kato, determination burning in her eyes. We need to find the song of the ancestors, she said. Kato frowned. What? Before she could explain, the sound of hoofbeats echoed in the distance. Her blood ran cold. The king's men were still hunting them. And this time, Omari would not stop until he had her. The hunt begins. Naya and Kato had no time to waste. The sound of galloping hooves grew louder, the king's soldiers closing in. We need to move, Kato urged, pulling her to her feet. Naya's mind raced. The spirits of the river had given her a mission, to find the song of the ancestors. But how? Where? Then, deep inside her, she felt it, a pull, like an invisible force calling her forward. I know where to go, she whispered. Kato didn't question her. He simply nodded. They ran. The Temple of Echoes, Naya's instincts led them through the dense forest, past towering trees and ancient stones covered in moss. Soon, they arrived at a place long forgotten by time, a temple carved into the side of a mountain. The Temple of Echoes. I've heard of this place, Kato said, his voice hushed in awe. It's said that voices never die here, they live on forever. Naya stepped forward, feeling the weight of centuries pressing down on her. Suddenly, a voice, soft, yet powerful, filled the air. Daughter of the song, you have come. The air shimmered, and a figure appeared, a woman, draped in golden robes, her eyes glowing with an ancient light. Who are you? Naya asked. I am Zoria, the first singer, your ancestor. Kato stepped back in shock, but Naya held her ground. The song of the ancestors, how do I find it? Zoria smiled sadly. You do not find the song, my child. It is already within you. You must sing it. Naya's heart pounded. But the Bloodstone. The Bloodstone only silences fear, Zoria interrupted. Not power. Sing with all your heart, and no magic can hold you back. At that moment, a terrible sound shattered the air, the roar of General Omari. The final confrontation, Omari stormed into the temple, his bloodstone pulsing with dark energy. I warned you, girl, he growled. You cannot escape fate. His sword gleamed as he lunged. Naya closed her eyes. And she sang. The song burst forth from her lips, pure, powerful, unstoppable. It was a melody of freedom, strength, and the voices of those who came before her. The temple trembled. The air shimmered. The bloodstone in Omari's hand cracked, then shattered into dust. Omari staggered, clutching his head as if something inside him was breaking. The dark magic that had made him immune was gone. He dropped his sword. Fell to his knees. And for the first time, fear filled his eyes. Impossible, he whispered. But it wasn't. Naya's voice had broken the curse. A new dawn. The king's soldiers arrived, only to find Omari defeated. Leaderless. Weak. Without the Bloodstone's power, they hesitated. And then, one by one, they dropped their weapons. Kato stepped forward, his eyes filled with pride. It's over. Naya took a deep breath. The song had left her breathless, but she felt lighter than ever before. From the shadows, Zoria's spirit smiled. Go, my child. Lead them into a new future. And with that, she vanished. The sun began to rise over the horizon. A new day had begun. And so had Naya's true journey. The end. Make sure you like, comment and share. Don't forget to subscribe to African Folktales King for more life lesson stories.